Imagine a place where cannonballs are encouraged, marshmallows are mandatory, and just 5 more minutes turns into all day. That's Veranda Beach Resort on Lake Osoyoos, one of the warmest freshwater lakes in North America, located on the border of Canada in Oroville, Washington. The vibe is delightfully old school, with time spent with family and friends at the beach, on the lake, and under the stars. Sounds of laughter, dogs, and screen doors are the soundtracks of your stay. Rent your own fully furnished cottage with Wi-Fi and all the comforts you need. It's the best of then with all the ease of now. Veranda Beach Resort. Come play, stay, and make memories. Visit verandabeach.com now to book your stay.
Don't ask me to talk.
Welcome, friends, to another exciting edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Reiner.
Hey, everyone. Hello. I'm the other one. I'm Stacy Heller. And this week, I don't have a drink in hand. You know.
Breaking news.
Exactly. Female podcast.
And
drinking.
how ironic, since our top topic for today, our great debate, is our biggest vice. And
I know, right?
I think some of us had some theories that possibly, potentially...
Some of us had some theories.
Gin and tonic might be yours, but we'll find out when we get to that topic. So you're already blowing expectations out of the water by not having one in hand, as we record.
Well, I did go to the doctor, and both the head doctor and the overall body doctor, and perhaps gin and tonic should not be so prevalent in my life.
Okay. Is that what they said?
Well, my GP didn't really say that, but the tests that I did a blood test and did the full panel. And it's never good when a whole bunch of the tests come back and it's out of range, out of range, out of range. And I don't think it means the same thing as your phone being out of range. I think it's you're too high or you're too low, and that means you're not healthy. And then the psychiatric practitioner that I met with, they were like, hey, so do you think that your drinking's a problem? And I'm like, no, it's really easy to make a gin and tonic and drink it.
Right. Yes.
I never spill it. It's not a problem at all. And I was like, no, I don't think it is. I think that I'm okay, but it is in my family, and you do have to watch those things. You have to be genuinely take a look at it. So it's not every day that I'm having a gin and tonic, because it's not every day that I'm doing a podcast.
Look, it's not every day.
It's only on days that end in day. Well, and I'll never forget, a doctor once said to me that when they ask you how many drinks you have, they multiply it times 2 automatically and then assume it's up from there.
Yeah, I guess I'm the opposite of that, because my GP asked that question, well, how much alcohol do you drink in a week? And I was like, I usually have a 12-ounce can once a week on Saturdays. And I guess they thought that was funny, because 3 years later, they're still asking me, still having that 12-ounce can. I remember when I met you. I only see them once a year. So the fact that she remembers that my not quite teetotaling, but close to.
Well, I love that it was so specific. I have a 12-ounce can of an alcoholic beverage.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's a cider, usually, which I probably said. And at that point, that was true. Now, if I go out to a show or something, then all bets are off. I could have up to 2.
Whoa!
drinks. But if I'm just at home,
Yeah, see, and like I grew up with parents that were part of a generation that had cocktails all the time. Like they would go over to friends' houses for cocktails and then like come home and have dinner. Like the cocktail party was
yeah,
a thing. It was the culture. My parents had every night. My mom would have a scotch or two, and she still does, and then she would switch to beer or wine. So it was very much part of the culture that I grew up in. And for years, I never drank. Like I remember when Annie was little and, all the kids were little and these moms talking about like, ugh, I can't wait to get home and have my glass of wine. And I was like, what? You could do that? Like it just didn't occur to me, even though I had grown up with it. And then I moved to the
yeah.
Pacific Northwest, and I'll tell you what, I started drinking. And then COVID hit. And I think that COVID is going to be ripe for data, for scientists, doctors, researchers, because how much did drinking, did certain things go up after COVID? Because there was nothing to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, during COVID, I think yeah, you're right. It probably went way up, and it'd be interesting to know if it's come down. I mean, it almost certainly would have had to. It's like people were like eating bacon and eggs every day instead of just on the weekends because they were
100%.
Working from home, or not working at all. And so I'm sure those numbers rocketed up, and there was all kinds of things that happened during COVID. I mean, the sourdough consumption
Oh my God. I mean,
went up like 5,000%.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I'm sure that's come down some.
I mean, sourdough and whiskey sours, like, through the roof.
Yeah, yeah.
And, and how many, it's like, it takes like 2 days or 3 days to make a habit, and then it takes much longer to break one. So, so I bet there's a lot of people that, drink a lot more. I know that I started drinking a lot more from doing like networking things that I would do and Zoom with family and that kind of thing. And for sure that changed things. And then I bought a lake house. And when you own a lake house that people visit, like every day is Friday and Saturday.
Sure.
So, so that's a thing. But anyway, we'll talk more about vices at the end of the show.
Can't wait. Stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah, because I have other ones.
Don't we all? And we'll find out what they are when we get to that.
But how was your week? I went on an adventure this weekend.
Well, I want to hear about the adventure.
I went to Austin.
Hey, that sounds interesting. Austin is known as being, a kind of artsy, fun, like music oriented city. So tell me more. I mean, I've never been to Austin, but I've often thought, should I ever find myself in Texas, that would probably be the one place that I would visit.
Rude.
Well, I've never had any interest in visiting Texas, until you moved there. Now you're starting to make a case for it. But the weather's never appealed to me. The politics has never appealed to me. Nothing about Texas so far has appealed to me, except for the occasional story about Austin. And there used to be a very funny TV show on MTV called Austin Stories.
Oh, I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, and I used to watch that every week, and so I thought like maybe one of these days I'll go visit Austin, but never got around to it. So tell me about it.
Well, thank you for asking. So friends of ours, Sherry and Vic, shout out to Sherry, who, by the way, listens to the show religiously. They were in town. Vic has business there all week, and so we headed up there after Pete's company picnic at Six Flags, by the way. That's a whole side story that I'll have to tell you about. But it was a very cool city. Like driving in, it definitely feels so much more like a city than San Antonio.
Yeah.
bigger buildings, actually some beautiful buildings, and lots of art, street art on the walls and that kind of thing. Definitely noticed a lot more homelessness, but maybe I'm not in, maybe I'm in the gentrified part of San Antonio, and so I don't see it the same way, which is absolutely a possibility. And then Sixth Street is quite a thing. We went out to dinner and had a great dinner at a restaurant called Poeta, an Italian restaurant. Shout out, also delicious. And then headed to Sixth Street. And because we're old, we went to a piano bar, Pete's. I think it's like Pete's Piano Bar or whatever. It's like Chopsticks or, like the dueling piano vibe. And so we went in at like 9 o'clock at night, which is considered early. We got seats in like the bleachers. And I am sorry, there is nothing more fun than dueling piano bar. Like, people are kind of
bottle of red, bottle of wine.
100%. 150,000,000%. Like, man, I feel like a woman. Billy Joel, pour some sugar on me. Like every kind of classic.
What? These are the Billy Joel. Yes, that makes sense as a piano bar standard, but Def Leppard does not.
They pulled out drums.
Put me in the mind of
guitar,
piano stuff.
And
okay.
so they actually had like 4 of them that had musicality and could play multiple instruments. So they'd kind of like move around. And holy cow. And of course, the premise is that pay us a lot of money and we'll play the song that you want to play. And so there was lots of celebrations happening and whatever. But my throat was sore the next day from singing at the top of my lungs because you're in a loud bar and all the songs. And so it's just super, super fun. The drinks are hella weak and you're just going through them. But we had so much fun. And then when we left, it was like, when you go to a movie and you walk out into the light of day and you're like, wow, like, where have I been? This was like you walked out onto 6th Street and what had been just a regular city street turned into what I imagine like Nashville is at night or New Orleans.
Or what Austin is like.
Or what Austin is like at night. Like it was just mayhem. And I was like, what the heck happened? So that was crazy. And then the next day we went to a barbecue place called Franklin's Barbecue. And we had to get online, and the wait for us from where we stood online, she's like, okay, from where you're standing, it's going to be about an hour and a half.
Wow.
So we stood online for Franklin's Barbecue, and by the time we got up to the line, they didn't have any more of like the sausage or the beef ribs. But that was freaking amazing. And I love their business model. They're like, we're open until like 2 or 3 or until we run out. And I'm like, that's amazing. So that was delicious. And then we went over to, I feel like it was called.
Just side note, that reminds me of the one time I've tried to go to Arby's.
Why?
You know how their commercial is, we have the meats.
Yep. They don't.
I haven't been to Arby's since I was like 6 years old, right? One day I see Arby's, it's dinner time. I'm like, you know what? Let's give Arby's a try. So I go to Arby's and I say, we'll go with the roast beef, blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, we're out of roast beef.
You don't have the meat.
Just shut it down. Your whole identity is built around roast beef. Your commercial slogan is, we have the meat.
That is hysterical. We have no meat.
Just turn out the lights at that point.
Wow. First of all, how desperate were you for food? Because Arby's, ugh.
You know, I've heard Arby's is actually underrated as a fast food restaurant, so I was going to give it a shot. Because it had been since I was like 6, literally. And in between, there's been all kinds of jokes about them. And then like people saying, well, actually, it's pretty decent. And so me going, okay, well, let's see what the hype is about. And then not finding what the hype is about because they didn't have the meats.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. So it just reminded me of that. You waited in line and they don't have it.
I know, right?
So.
Well, they let you know, like, we have most of the meats.
Right.
So that was awesome. And then we went to another street called, I think, Rainy Street is what it's called. And the Uber driver that was telling us about it was like, yeah, it used to be a street full of crack houses. We're like, that sounds fun. And he's like, and then the houses got bought up and now it's a bunch of food trucks and bars and stuff. And, it's pretty nice. And sure enough, it's this like very cute, again, gentrified street with all of these food trucks and like front lawns. And, you can wander from bar to bar and they have music and the lights and the AstroTurf and chairs and the whole vibe. And so that was super fun. So only really got to see a small sliver of it, but the fact that it's only an hour and a half away and really so doable is just awesome.
Now, it's interesting that you're like, it definitely seemed more like a city where like the population of San Antonio is like 1.5 million and the population of Austin is more like 775 or something like that. So it's like twice as big where you live, and yet one is, definitely more city-like. So.
Well, I think it's because, honestly, like if there are people that are local that are listening, then feel free to yell at me. I think where the pearl is, like we have easy on off access to the highway. And so like when I'm doing errands, like I pop onto the highway and I'm heading into like Alamo Heights and these other areas that are a little bit more suburban. So I feel like I'm sort of on the edge of the city versus being in the heart of the city. And I haven't explored the heart of the city that much in San Antonio. Whereas where we came in with Austin, it like was really like, whoa, look at all these big buildings. And they felt like newer and more creative and just more interesting to look at.
Well, some places have, just more of an urban vibe than others. It reminds me when I go to the Bay Area and the focus is all San Francisco is the city. And yet San Jose has a bigger population, maybe close to twice as big as San Francisco, but no one thinks of San Jose as being the big city down there. And then, of course, the population is spread out between all these different communities, but San Francisco is still like, the media is there, it's like the San Francisco Bay Area. So it is just interesting how, despite population, that it doesn't necessarily mean it's a real city kind of vibe. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so that was it was really fun. I look forward to going back and checking it out some more. Like I said, like an hour and a half, like once you do it, it's like, oh, that's so doable. Like that's not a big deal at all. Okay, and then I want to go back because the employee picnic, as I said, was at Six Flags. Now, I know you're all shocked. I am not a huge roller coaster girl. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't go on them. I mean, when the kids, if we went to an amusement park, I absolutely went on the roller coasters with them. And,
Now, is this Six Flags Fiesta, Texas?
Yes, it is.
In San Antonio?
Yes, it is. And,
because there's two, apparently, Six Flags in Texas.
Oh, well, this one is...
Arlington has one as well.
This is Fiesta, Texas. And so... we go in, they closed the park to anybody else. So it was just us. And they had a big picnic so you could get your brisket or your hot dog and potato salad, like all the trimmings of a family picnic. And then the whole park is open. Okay, I haven't been to an amusement park in a minute. Eric, these things are scary.
Now, that is one thing that, Washington has so much, but we really don't have big amusement parks here. So it's a kind of a out of state thing for those of us that would like to go to an amusement park. And so, yeah, I get that. And then, I've never been a roller coaster person myself, but I've been on a few in my life. I don't think I would choose nowadays to do it.
I mean,
I've seen too many videos of things going wrong now.
It's just like seeing some of these rides. Like, if you haven't been to an amusement park in a minute, look up some of these rides. Like, once upon a time, it was enough that they had really high highs and really low lows. Then they were like, ooh, now we're going to do where we go backwards. And it was like, ooh, that's crazy. And then there's the whole like, oh, we're going to.
Did you go on Batman the Ride?
We went on the Ferris wheel. Hard stop. Done. That was it. Like, it was 91, but it felt like real feel how they do on the weather was 101.
Yeah.
And it was blazing sun, crazy humidity. And so we walked the whole park to check everything out. And we were like, let's just do the Ferris wheel. We can sit down and see the view. But these rides, like the cars all like go around separately and they all twirl on top of the track that's twirling. And like, I was like, do you people have no sense of like wanting to stay alive? Like, what makes you want to propel your body at a crazy speed to the brink of death and then be like,
so you didn't go on Judge Roy Scream?
No. No. I thought about going on the carousel, but I was like, well, we don't have time.
Or the Joker. I think it seems like they've got a real Batman theme.
They have a whole DC
with a lot of these,
world.
Yeah.
And so there was like a Wonder Woman ride and there was all like the DC character rides. And
I'm just looking, there's the Mr. Freeze.
Yep. Yeah, there is.
Step into the chilling lair of Mr. Freeze, Batman's cold-blooded arch nemesis.
Yeah. Honestly,
apparently that's a roller coaster.
If it had been a freeze and it was actually cold, I may have considered going in because it was so freaking hot. Yeah, it was something. Also, I know that those amusement park games that you can play, like, 3 balls for $5. Yeah, no, it's now like 3 balls for $20. And that they're rigged so that it's not about skill. It is purely about mastering like the angle or just pure dumb luck that you win one of these things. And I was just like, I wanted to do the water gun squirty one where you have to have precision shooting and win, like getting the light to the top or whatever. Because I was like, I bet I could do that. But Dad wouldn't let me.
You could have gone on Aquaman Power Wave.
Regrets.
It does remind me, you say you went on the Ferris wheel, and I like a few years back, I went to Coney Island in New York for the first time, and I went on the Ferris wheel. I'd never been on a Ferris wheel in my life because I like you, don't like rides usually, but I'm like, it's a Ferris wheel. Come on. And this seems like it'll be like, for babies. I can do this. I was scared. I was holding on tight.
Well, and God forbid
you're in this
move.
Cage. Yes, you're in this cage that's like wobbly as hell. This thing looks like it was built in 1920.
Totally janky.
And, yes. And you go, thung, and around and around. It was like, okay. Now I can say I bet on a Ferris wheel, not going back.
Yeah. I mean, I was sort of like, I don't really want to go. But then I was like, I've got to go on a ride while I'm here. Like, that would just be ridiculous. And so it was like, okay. And the fact that Pete and I had our own cage, neither of us were going to be like going back and forth and
shake it around,
swing.
going crazy.
So we were so happy to like sit and have some water from our water bottle and just like relax for a minute. So yeah, but I'm with you because I've done them before. Like I did the one that's down on the pier in Seattle, and I was like, this isn't fun. Like, this is way too high. This is just going to go off of its little thing and just.
Are you talking about the Great Wheel?
Yes.
That's not meant to be a thrill ride.
No, but that's scary. It's so high.
It's just meant to be so you can see the view.
I know, but it's scary.
Are you scared when you go up in the Space Needle too?
No.
But that's higher.
Leave me alone.
Okay.
Whatever, man.
So you've got a little bit of a fear of heights as well.
I guess so. I think it's just like about perceived safety. Like,
okay, because the Great Wheel, it goes really slow.
I know. I don't know what it was.
It's not like a thrill ride at all.
It's totally not a thrill ride. It's totally not.
It's about taking pictures of the city.
No, I think it's because I was with kids and they were also trying to move around and treat it like it was more of a traditional Ferris wheel. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. I get it. I'm not like a ride person myself, but that one was like, okay, I can handle that.
The ones that are really, really janky are the ones that, like, when the carnival comes to town and, like, you know, they unbox them out of their campers and their trucks and stuff. And they're like, okay, let's put up this giant piece of machinery. And, you know, you've got these people that are like teenagers and old guys and women, like, who you're like, you can't really know how to do this. And they're putting up these huge rides and stuff. And they're like, here, come on, you'll be fine. What could happen? Yeah, those are really scary. Anyway, okay.
All right. Well, I've got my dental surgery happening probably at the minute this episode drops. So I haven't had a lot to talk about for this week, but next week I'll have more to say. So why don't we just go to a break and we'll get into our cultural blind spots for the week. Because I saw a classic movie and a new movie on a streaming service near you that I want to talk about.
Wow.
So,
all right.
And I know you watched a classic that's actually on the AFI Top 100 list.
Yes, I did.
So I'm looking forward to discussing that as well. So everybody stay tuned. We're going to come right back with more Don't Ask Me to Talk on a special Damped Vice episode.
Don't ask me to talk.
Imagine a place where cannonballs are encouraged, marshmallows are mandatory, and just 5 more minutes turns into all day. That's Veranda Beach Resort on Lake Osoyoos, one of the warmest freshwater lakes in North America, located on the border of Canada in Oroville, Washington. The vibe is delightfully old school, with time spent with family and friends at the beach, on the lake, and under the stars. Sounds of laughter, dogs, and screen doors are the soundtracks of your stay. Rent your own fully furnished cottage with Wi-Fi and all the comforts you need. It's the best of then with all the ease of now. Veranda Beach Resort. Come play, stay, and make memories. Visit verandabeach.com now to book your stay. And welcome back to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Reiner.
Hey, I'm the other one. I am Stacey Heller, and welcome back to the show. Just want to remind you that if you are listening and you heard the commercial about Veranda Beach, Eric and I have been talking about Veranda Beach. It's where I go when I spend the summer. It's awesome. And guess what? They're doing a little special. If you listen to the show and you're interested in learning more, check out the website at verandabeachresort.com. And if you decide to book something, if you call them up and mention the show or mention me, then you can get a 10% discount off your stay. So how about that?
Pretty nice.
Right? Very exciting.
It pays to listen.
It pays to listen. Exactly.
And I assume on the website, the phone number is there for folks to call in.
It is. And I could probably look that up and give it to you. But also, you know what? You're not going to write it down because you're listening right now.
That's right. So just go on the website and look it up.
Exactly. Okay. So
So this is the segment of the show that we like to call our cultural blind spots, where we check out movies and television and pieces of culture from all different worlds that have eluded us up to this point, and are usually big deals amongst the people that actually participate in culture. We've lived sheltered lives, so we haven't always been that big of a participant. So now we're remedying that in our final days. So
Final days. Oh my gosh. Did you hear something from my doctor that I haven't? You're a little worried about this gum graft surgery or what?
Possibly. I think it's the underlying thing there is that it may be all of our final days, but let's not get into too much of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you watched a classic movie this week that is on the AFI Top 100, as I teased before we went to break. So I'd love to hear about it, because you may surpass me. I think I've said I've seen 48 of the movies on the AFI Top 100, so nearly half. And you said last week, I believe you said something like 30-something?
35. So this is 36.
35, so they're 36, yeah. Oh, you may lap me here if I'm not careful.
Yeah. So we joked last week. I took a little break from my genre hunting. I had been trying to decide a movie, and all the ones that were appealing to me had apartments in them. And so last week, because of our topic about age, I had watched Harold and Maude. But this week I went back to my apartment genre and I watched The Apartment with Shirley MacLaine and Jack Lemmon.
It doesn't get more apartment genre than The Apartment.
No, it doesn't. And it also had, Fred McMurray, who was the father in My Three Sons. And I have to tell you, it was so upsetting seeing him in the role that he was in this, where he's like the basically the president of this company, and he is a philandering man having an extramarital affair with the gal that runs the elevator, and he's just a jerk. And I'm like, no, you're the dad from My Three Sons. Like that, you can't do that. But this movie, I actually applauded when it ended. I was like, this was really good. It was, first of all, I was really shocked that it was in black and white. I don't know why. It was 1960, and
well, there was a lot of stuff still in black and white in 1960.
But for some reason, I was just like, it was the topic and the way that it was dealt with was so modern that it just was like, how could these modern, really real topics be in black and white? The movie was directed by Billy Wilder, which I kind of have a funny story that a friend shared with me once that I'll tell in a minute. But it's a movie about a company man working at an insurance company, and he's working his way kind of up the ladder, not just because of his dedication and hard work, but more about his dedication and willingness to give the keys to his apartment to the executives at the company so that they can rendezvous with their mistresses.
Speaking of which, is it only me, or do you sometimes, when you see like scenes in old offices and see their like desks and there's nothing on it, and think, what did they do? I mean, nowadays we've got computers and,
Yes.
all this stuff happening at all times. And it's just like, you see some of these movies and there's just like, maybe there's a little
Box.
a desk box, an inbox and an outbox maybe, but it's just like, how did they do business?
So
basically,
it's really funny that you say that, because there's a scene where he's moving to his new office and he packs up like a little box, and he has his Rolodex and he has like the old calendars that were like on a plastic platform, and it had the paper that you like turned the pages, which my mother had one of those for years. And it was like a few items that he just moved to the new office, and there was like nothing in it. And I'm like, that's crazy. So I totally noticed that. And so Shirley MacLaine, he's a kind of a funny guy. Like, he's getting sick from sleeping out on the streets because these guys are taking his apartment, and he's just trying to do his thing. And
you're talking about Jack Lemmon's
character. And then
CC Baxter.
Yep. And he's actually like not sloughing off on the job. He's actually doing the work and everything. Like, seems like a good guy. Kind of quirky. Jack Lemmon plays a great kind of quirky character. And then there's the Shirley MacLaine character who plays the elevator operator. And he comes to find out that she is having an affair with the president of the company. And she realizes that this man in power is not going to leave his wife, and that he's had multiple affairs, and she's just one in line of a whole bunch, and there'll be more after her. And she finds sleeping pills in his apartment and takes them. And he has to call on his doctor next door to basically save her. And it's this movie that's like funny and quirky and hapless and very human, and then dark with
pictures of Shirley MacLaine in this, by the way. She looks like she's Sandy Duncan playing Peter Pan.
And she's so cute in it, like her short little hair, and like
she's a pixie.
Total pixie. Yes. And so these dark themes of like suicide and marital infidelity and lying and the corporate ladder, and him having to make choices about, what he's going to do, like how much is he going to lie so that he can move ahead. And, just like all of these really very modern themes. And I was like, this is...
Now, is this a comedy?
Well, this is my point. It's kind of like a dramedy in a way, because there are some very comedic moments in it. And like I said, there's something about the way that Jack Lemmon plays the characters that he plays, where he's a little bit like hapless, and, he doesn't play it with a total seriousness. Like, he's telling a story about a time that, he did something that was like horrible, and he shot himself in the knee because he was going to do the same thing. But he tells it in a way that's just so charming that you're like, this is like a real thing going on here. Like, these are all adult or, serious themes that are happening here. And yet you don't ever feel like it gets heavy-handed. So it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I was just like, this was, and like at the end, I love the fact that it's not like, of course she sort of ended up with him, but not like, oh, all of a sudden I'm in love and I'm like forgetting everything that happened. It was like, he's like, I want you to know that I love you. And she's like, deal the cards, because they had been playing gin. And like, she's not going to be like, yeah, I love you. But the feeling that you get is that she's like, this is a good guy, and I'm going to come to love him. Like, this is going to be better for me in the long run, and I'm going to be happy with this person. And I love the fact that that happens, because so often Hollywood especially sells this bit that like, you're going to have this crazy mad love and everything's going to be great. And sometimes the way that love works is you're like, you know what? This is just a really good partner who is going to love me and support me, and who I'm going to have a good time with. And it's going to be so much less heartache. And like, I'm going to come to love them more and more. So really good. Big fan. Huge fan. And as I said, it was directed by Billy Wilder. Now, here's the story. My friend Sally, she was in high school, and she was driving in Westwood in like LA area of California, Friday night. She got a brand new BMW 320i or something like that, about a month earlier. She's sitting in bumper to bumper traffic, and she looks in her rearview mirror, and a huge like Mercedes or luxury car is like in her reflection. And I guess she stomped on the brakes, and the front of that car went under her trunk. So she pulled over, she gets out, they start exchanging information, and his friend gets out of the passenger seat with a cocktail in his hand, and they're chatting away. And that's who she was in the accident with, Billy Wilder.
Oh, wow.
Like, what a bizarre, like, only in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Like, where it's like, she had obviously, as a teenage girl, she had no idea who it was. It was just another white guy in Hollywood that's got a big car and, whatever.
Right.
And I'm sure, knowing the situation, I'm sure they treated her like crap because she's young and, whatever. And they're like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But I just think it's so funny that, like, that's so old Hollywood, like cocktail in hand, like, you made me spill my drink.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway.
Now, Billy Wilder, for folks that don't know, a legendary director and screenwriter. And, he kind of started this whole thing, this segment, in a way, because I got inspired to start checking off more of these blind spots in my film repertoire by watching Sunset Boulevard recently. And he's the writer and director of that movie. And Double Indemnity is another movie that he did that I'm a huge fan of. So, I guess I didn't even put together that he directed The Apartment. So
yeah.
That's one definitely going to have to bump that to the top of my list.
Yeah, just don't
of movies to see.
Don't let him drive under your trunk.
Yes, yeah. Gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful. Or if it's going to happen, at least make sure that you have a good drink to hold your 12-ounce cider.
It was a different time.
It was such a different time. So anyway, highly recommend. Big fan.
And that story itself sounds like a scene out of Sunset Boulevard. So
like,
I love it.
Right? It's so, Sally, that story is just, Sally has all kinds of crazy stories from growing up in that area. But that one has always struck me as it struck her. So anyway, okay, now I have spoken for most of this episode. Tell me what you saw and what you have watched.
All right. Well, I watched a classic movie as well, but one that's not on the AFI Top 100. But I was inspired by watching the Stanley Kubrick movie that I talked about last week, The Killing, to check out another heist film. And doing a little research, I found one of the biggest ones. And I remember when it came out back in 1995, this was a big deal. I chose to watch Heat, the Michael Mann movie. Some would say his masterpiece. Have you seen Heat?
I have not. But I remember when this came out that it was like, it had like big names in it.
It is stacked. It's got Robert De Niro. It's got Al Pacino. It's got Val Kilmer. It's got Ashley Judd. It's got Natalie Portman, a very young Natalie Portman. It's got Danny Trejo. It's got John Voight. It's got Hank Azaria. It's got even like cult figures like Henry Rollins. And
wasn't he in a band?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was in Black Flag and then the Henry Rollins band. Okay. It's even got a cameo from Tone Loc. So
what? That's crazy.
Yes. Right.
Wow.
He doesn't do the wild thing. He's playing a dramatic role. It's even got the guy that does the Allstate commercials with the very deep voice.
No, it's not J.K. Simmons.
Dennis Haysbert.
Okay. Wow,
yeah.
That's nuts.
But when you see him appear as a ex-con short order cook, you're like, hey, it's the Allstate guy. So
I'm sure
this movie, this movie It is interesting. This is a fun one, actually. It's a heist movie, and yet it's more about the relationship between cops and robbers, I guess.
Right.
There's like it's a kind of a psychological deep dive on the characters of what drives a man to be leading a crew that does heists, and the cops that are have to foil these people. And it's Robert De Niro plays like the leader of this group that first they rob a armored truck, and later they rob a bank. And Al Pacino plays the cop that's basically hot on their tail through the whole movie. And it's really interesting because this is the only movie I've seen where the bad guy and the good guy decide to, let's just go get lunch.
You know what?
There's this epic car chase where Al Pacino like chases down Robert De Niro and pulls him over, and De Niro's character is so cool. He's just like, it pulls over and he's like, can I help you, basically? And he's like, how about I buy you a cup of coffee? And so then they go and do a scene where they act at each other. And just like, hey, if I have to stop you, I'm not going to relent. Well, I'm not going to relent with what I'm doing. And he's like, didn't you do time in all these prisons? Is McNeil as bad as they say it is? He's like, I'm not going back. Whatever happens, I'm not going back. So this whole...
This is very good, by the way. I'm very impressed with your acting.
Well, I'm not trying to, there's plenty of people that do the voices
I get it.
For De Niro and Pacino. I'm not going to pretend that I'm great at either of those. But this is a movie that many people will recognize from Al Pacino going, she's got a great ass. And I feel like this may be the first movie. I don't know Pacino's work all that well, except for, the Godfather trilogy that we both watched, where he was relatively grounded. And I know Scarface is another one, 1983, where he's really playing over the top. But I think in between, there was some movies where he was a little more restrained. But in this one, he's like full on nuts, like shouting lines, and seems like he may have just wandered in from a different movie.
Like chomping up they talk about stars that like chomp up the dialogue, and he's like,
or chewing the scenery. So, it is wild that was ever considered like...
Good.
Okay, we're not gonna retake this. We're not gonna recast this movie. We're just going with it.
It'll be fine.
And it works because it's this very stylized, based in reality, but definitely just a little bit over the top kind of thing. Like this is an action movie, so there's a big like shootout scene in it in downtown LA. And it's there's plenty of holes in this plot, but just the way it's all put together, the music, the acting, the characters, there's a lot of it that just like hooks you in, and it's almost 3 hours long.
Wow.
But I did not go like, oh man, this thing is dragging. I felt like compelled the whole time. I was enjoying myself through the whole thing. And there's plenty of things where you would, if you really drilled down on it, you'd be like, why did they do that? Right. But if you are able to just let that stuff go, this is a really fun, like thrill ride, basically. And I enjoyed it. And De Niro is great. He's way more restrained than Pacino in this thing. And Pacino has his moments too.
Did she have a great ass?
Well, that's the thing. Ashley Judd is the character that he's referring to. We never get to see whether she has a great ass or not. We just have to take Pacino's word for it.
I mean,
pointedly, like in the next scene that she's in, she's got like a sweater tied around her. So it's like,
but you know what? That's so Ashley
Michael Mann.
Judd. Like,
yes.
So like, no, you know what? You're not gonna do that to me. That's a very Ashley Judd thing to do.
Well, Michael Mann is he's the guy that directed this thing. And so I'm just like, you tease, you know. But and it's fun to talk about this today because Michael Mann was the executive producer on Miami Vice.
Yeah, speaking of Vices.
And yes, yeah, and that's our topic for today. So it ties in nicely. But yeah, I would recommend this one if you haven't seen it. It's a fun thrill ride. And don't think about it too hard, but just go along for the ride. It is that roller coaster that you avoided at Six Flags in a movie form.
I love that. Don't think about it too much. Yeah, I get that. I hear that.
Yeah, because there's plenty of stuff like when he's like, let's go to coffee. And it's just
Right.
like, really?
Hey, you know what? That's what they did in the old days.
Sure, yes, yeah.
It's like the Jets and the Sharks. You know, they had to meet and like figure out the ground rules, and then they could move on.
Right. Yeah. I feel like they know this guy is a criminal. They know what he's planning, and yet they really fail to stop him from doing what he's doing. And it just seems like with a little more effort, they could have stopped him.
Honestly, though,
before it happened.
It's like a cat. A cat likes to play with its prey.
Right.
And it makes it more fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a cat and mouse thing. It's absolutely a cat and mouse thing. But I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Right.
So I would recommend that. And a totally different vibe, but with a local connection. I also watched the documentary that's streaming now on Hulu called Sky King. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this, but this is the documentary telling the story of Bebo Russell. He is the Horizon baggage handler that stole a Horizon plane
took it for
years
a
ago.
joyride.
Took it for a joyride. I think it was 2018. Well, big spoiler there.
Whoops, sorry.
Because I had forgotten how this story ended. So right into the end, I was like, oh, are they going to show him like in jail now or whatever? And that, no, unfortunately, spoiler. He, this was the end of his life when he stole that plane. But, being here in the Seattle area, this is definitely a story that was a huge story, and I guess all over the world too. But at the time, it was a hyper-local thing because this happened at SeaTac Airport with local residents and stuff. And I remember that when this was all going on that day, but I never really drilled down on it and found out all the details of it. I just figured that would all be in the news and stuff. And for the most part, it was. But this documentary has all the audio of his conversation with the air traffic control, and then behind the scenes, and then interviews with his mother and siblings and coworkers, and they really fill out the behind the scenes of what led to this, what his motivation might have been, and his background. And it's really, I at the time just kind of went, okay, guy went nuts. Did something he wasn't supposed to. But this really, you get this full portrait of a kind of a sad person that had a very promising life and then just kind of something snapped. And it's interesting.
This. I heard that the dialogue that he's like, you think this thing will do a barrel roll? And meanwhile, this guy's never flown. And
exactly.
he just does these things, and he's kind of well, this isn't going to end well. So
pretty much
while we're here, what do you want to talk about?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that's fascinating. I'm going to have to watch that because I didn't know anything about it. I don't know where I was in 2018, probably driving somebody to football practice. But that is a crazy story. And you're right. The thing that is super compelling is those conversations to really get a more human side. And I think that's what I was trying to get at with The Apartment. Like it's sort of like life. Like it's funny and you can laugh, but then in the next moment you're having like this mental health crisis, but then you're like, let's play cards. Like that's just kind of how life is, right? And there's just, it's like, the humanity. And that's what this story, Sky King, feels like.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, I didn't know about the after story of what happened online, of how he kind of got co-opted by like white supremacist groups and also like attacked by, more left-wing people, and that all of them projecting their thoughts and opinions and beliefs and motivations on this guy. And it goes to it goes to great efforts to kind of debunk all that stuff, and say that's not what this was about. That's not why he did this, and that you're co-opting his story in the completely wrong way, and your hot takes are not so hot.
I love that. That's awesome. Because no, you don't get to do that. And so the fact that they share those conversations and everything and flesh out the story more, that's fascinating. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and the thing that's frustrating about it, of course, is this guy is so charismatic and so fun and just really seemed like a nice guy that it's just like, man, he would have been great hosting a podcast. and not ending it like this. Right. It's really too bad that he didn't see a way out of his his situation where it was very short-sighted, but people sometimes get like locked into this this little thing that they can't see a way out of, but if they just pull back a little bit and see the bigger picture, life can be very different. So I think this cautionary tale, as well as just a very compelling watch. And it does have the sad ending, but it was genuinely, I don't want to say entertaining, but it was entertaining.
No, but that's fair. I mean,
because it's not, the whole time I was this like edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, even if some of the details like I did, this really fills it out,
Love it. That's so cool. I'm totally going to watch that one. Is it a series or is it a one-off?
It's a one-off.
Okay, so it's a documentary, you said. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, now I know what I'm watching tonight.
Right on. Well, I think we've talked about our cultural blind spots, so let's take a quick break and we'll come right back and talk about our top topic, or our great debate, if you will. Everybody stay tuned.
Don't ask me to talk.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm one of your podcast pals, along with Eric Ryder from Don't Ask Me to Talk. Are you liking what you're listening to? Awesome. We would love if you would follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Don't Ask Me to Talk. We also are wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can follow us, subscribe, like, rate, whatever it is that you do. You can also email us. That's asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. And if you'd like, text or leave us a voicemail at 475-999-2726. Basically, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm Eric Ryder. I'm one of your podcast pals.
Hey, I'm the other one. I am Stacey Heller, and welcome back to the show. I'm still thinking about this Sky Kings thing. I'm so excited to watch this story. I don't know. There's something about like a good documentary that is so fun. Did you ever watch the one about the guys in prison that make quilts?
No.
Oh, it's really good. It's a pretty short one too, and it's like these guys in prison that like you have to have special clearance and you have to be allowed because obviously with sewing you're going to be near sharp needles and that kind of stuff and you have to earn your way to be able to do it. And these guys that like long timers that have been in prison forever, they make these quilts and they make them for kids. I think they're in like the foster system, and they get fabric that's been donated by people that have heard of the program and heard about this, and they send in fabrics, and the patterns that they create are stunning, and they follow a few of the inmates that are doing it. And like one of the guys, sadly, he did something, and so he got kicked out of the program. And they show some of the work that these guys have done, and it's just stunning. So that's a good documentary too. Anyway.
And do you know what it's called?
No, of course not. I'll look it up while you're no.
Okay.
Like the Quilters? I don't know.
It is called The Quilters.
Stop.
It's a 2024 documentary short film available on Netflix. So yeah, okay.
There you go. Look at that. I do know what it's called. It's called The Quilters.
Could it be called anything else?
No, it was really good. So anyway, I didn't mean to take our cultural blind spot into this segment, but
totally fine.
But it reminded me of that.
Yeah, our topic for today, though,
Speaking
in
of
this
prison.
segment, right, a prison of our own making, where we quilt a conversation based on these topics that appear on the Wheel O Topics, and they don't just appear on the Wheel O Topics. Our own Stacey Heller is the one that puts those topics on there. And I always like to find out what your inspiration was, what the thinking behind the topic was. So, Stacey, enlighten us. It's biggest vice this week that we're talking about, to remind our listeners. What's the biggest vice topic all about?
So I feel like we've talked about like bad habits and things like that before on the show. But
oh yeah,
this is a more recent addition, and it's because remember we were talking about what a liar I am?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and so it was kind of inspired by that and like thinking about the things that we do or
so she says.
Well, right, exactly. Maybe I'm lying. So a vice can be something that we do. It could be, gambling or drinking gin and tonics. It could be lying. It could be, eating chips in bed and saying that it's Gertie. I don't know. Could be, I don't know. I'm just making something up so that you like, come on, man, you're drinking like a 12-ounce can of cider once a week.
That's right. Yes.
I mean, there's got to be some vice you have, but that's what it's inspired from, is that, it's more than like a bad habit. It's something that you do that you're like, I probably shouldn't do that, but also you do it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is a hard one for me because I feel like clean living is something that I typically am doing. I don't know how to put it in a more concise way than that, but I don't feel like I've got a lot of vices. But I think for me, well, we can get more into this because I'd like to know what you consider your biggest vices first, because I feel like I got to think about this even more before I try and articulate it.
Girl, hold my drink. Get comfortable. I feel like I have so many vices. I think it's really funny that you're the guy that's in like a rock band and that's like, ugh, and I'm like the stay-at-home mom that raised 4 kids, and I'm like, I got all the vices. So I just kind of love that. I swear like a trucker. I have been known to go through periods where I drop F-bombs left, right, and sideways. So it's very interesting that we don't curse on this show. because I am really bad about that. I think that my Diet Coke is a vice, given the fact that like everybody in the world is like, Diet Coke is terrible for you, and like it's probably going to make you demented and fall over and have cancer and die. I'm still like, cheers, bitches, and still drinking it anyway. I mean, I suppose gin and tonics could be a vice, like if I let them. I think, given the fact that there's alcoholism in my family, and as somebody with like depression and anxiety and ADHD and all that kind of stuff, I do have to be careful to make sure that it doesn't become a vice.
Right.
So, like, serious note to it. It's something that for sure, like when I'm going through a rough period and a cocktail like helps me relax and not be my depressed side. And it allows me to like be more festive, if you will. I think I have to be careful to make sure that it doesn't become a vice. So I try to be really, really self-aware about that. I am a liar. Not a cheat, but I am a liar. Well, I might be a cheater too.
Now, as we discussed on the show before, everybody is probably a liar to a certain extent,
Right.
you know, because there's white lies. Sometimes you gotta tell a white lie just to not, you know,
Right.
cause further tension and troubles. You know what I mean? But you also shouldn't be cheating on your taxes, kind of
Right.
thing. There's a difference.
Yeah, and I have like fully admitted that I'm like, I have no problem with sticking it to the man.
Right.
And you know, I will refrain from mentioning which man I have stuck it to. Look, I'm like the Robin Hood of lying. I am doing it.
Okay.
I am doing it for good. And so I just feel like
For who's good is the question, I guess.
for the common good.
Okay, sure.
It's true. I'm not selfish. I'm a very magnanimous liar. So I feel like those are things that I do. And it's weird because like vices, you have to keep it in check, right? Like what's a bad habit versus what is like an addiction versus what's, you know, like, oh, my vice is that like every night I eat, like I secretly go in the closet and I eat, you know, 5 chocolate bars in rapid succession. You know, it's like, to me, a vice is like, it's not really going to hurt anybody. It's sort of a habit, but it's like a little secret that you have, and it's not to the place where it's a problem or problematic or an addiction.
Okay, so just looking at the dictionary definition here, number one definition of vice is moral depravity or corruption.
Oh, that's me.
See also wickedness.
Moral depravity, yes.
Or a moral fault or failing, a habitual and usually trivial defect or shortcoming.
See?
See also foible.
So
Or a blemish or defect. So there is definitely a rainbow of you know, things that would fall under vice, but it, you know, the classic definition of vice would be that moral depravity or corruption. So we're talking stuff like prostitution and, you know, gambling and gun running and stuff like that.
okay, well,
you know
I
what I
haven't
mean?
done that in a couple years.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't have
But
moral depravity, unless like the lying thing, I suppose, could be considered like moral depravity. But
Sure.
like, interestingly, I talk about this a lot, and it seems like I'm just a horrible, horrible person. But the things that I lie about are like really so stupid. And you know, it's, as I said, it's the stuff where it's like I'm taking a ream of paper from like work, or you know, I'm like, nobody's gonna notice if this like pen is gone, or like, oh, I need that stapler, kind of thing. So maybe I just have a stealing addiction or vice. Maybe that's what it is. But
maybe you're a klepto. Maybe that is your...
Something new to talk about with my therapist. Yay. I'm writing this down. Am I a klepto? Okay, excellent. Yeah, so the moral depravity thing, I like the foibles. First of all, let's talk about what a great word that is. So I have some foibles.
Okay. I think everybody, if they're honest with themselves, has some foibles. Everybody's got some of the, like, obviously if you're doing the real moral depravity stuff, then you need to seek help and change your ways.
Yes. 100%.
Because that's not good.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about foibles, like you're doing, 2 martinis a night instead of, a couple a week like you should be, then maybe it's time to think about, cutting back on that. But it is your little vice, it's that little thing that gets you through the week if you're having a tough week.
Right.
Yeah, which we're all human and we all have things like that, I'm sure.
I love it. I'm sure. Not that
I mean, everybody. I'm talking about people in general.
I know you are, but
everybody's got a foible.
I'm like, co-hosting this show with you. I'm like, come on, man. You're like my husband. Like, you guys are the most morally straight and narrow people. Like,
see, now that's not true, because I feel like my real vice is maybe just not being, maybe just not being as, I don't know what the best way to say it is. Like, I'll give you an incident. Recently, I walked into the kitchen at work, right? And someone was crying, and I said to myself, "Ooh, I should not be in here," and turned around and walked out. And then I could hear like somebody else in there say, "Oh, are you okay?" And then to the person that was crying, and they explained some very bad news that they got. And I feel like my moral failing there is I feel like, oh, maybe I should have been the person to said, "Are you okay?" But I just, like, in an office environment, just felt weird and like ran out of there as quickly as I could. So this is my moral failing in that, like, I feel like
I have a vision of you doing a backwards, like, I know that moonwalking is backwards, but like you moonwalking backwards, like.
No, I felt like that's too risky, because I would have definitely would have like knocked over like the snacks and stuff on my way out and created like a real disaster that would have drawn all this attention to me. And you know what I mean? It's just like that. So that's my vice, is that, I could engage more with folks, but I'm a shy person, and I feel now. Give me those, the can of cider that I drink on the weekend that we talked about, and I might have been able to get over that little hump of, that quick, like, oh, let's get out of here. And it's the same thing. I mean, that's the more extreme example, but let's see, I say I'm at the store and I see somebody I know, somebody I like, somebody that's always been nice to me.
You hide from them, don't you?
I do. I think, oh shit. I hope they didn't see me. And then carry on with my business. I don't go, hey, that's that person I know. And some of it's because it's like, oh shoot, what's their name again? Yeah. Or how do we know each other? And when they inevitably see me and say, hey, how are you? Then I'm like, okay, I'm happy to talk to them. But I have a little like panic inside me anytime something could potentially be awkward when it comes to human interaction that makes me flee.
Okay.
So
it's,
I don't know if that's the typical vice,
but
I feel like maybe a better person would work hard to get over that so that they could, be a comfort to people, or they could, be a better friend to people. I can't, I'm in my 50s now and I still haven't gotten beyond that. And I'm just giving into that, I think, is a little vice. That's
honestly,
that's what I do.
That's
I'm a bad person.
No, but I mean,
I can't help.
What do they say in recovery? That like acknowledgement is like the first step. So like, hey, you're acknowledging it. You've got a little social anxiety, and
right.
like that's okay. And all is not lost. You can always send a note to the person if the person saw you and you're like, hey,
that's not
I overheard this and I'm so sorry. Well, then don't worry about it. Let it go.
If we're in a like a setting where it's just the two of us for a lengthy period, I might work up the courage. But if more than one day has passed, forget about it. This is going into the dustbin of history.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
You know what? Honestly, of all the things that I have listed, I mean, yours is like, they're all very human. I mean, like, that's the point, is like, really, I was definitely thinking more along the lines of like foibles than I was moral depravity.
Right.
And
so, but you mentioned the lying, but I would if someone's like comes up and says, hey, like I give the supermarket thing, it would have just the lie of, I didn't see you. How are you? would have come out of me. Like, even if I had seen them, I'm not going to say like, hey, I saw you, but I panicked and ran away.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I do know what you mean. And the weird thing is, like, I'm at a place where there's a 50-50 shot that I would actually say that. And like, where I'd be like, I saw you, but
sure, you're on your third gin and tonic for the day. You'll say anything that comes to your mind. Not me.
I'm holding my drink and I'm like, didn't spill it. Yeah, I'm like, the lying thing is like, I think sometimes it is actually to help me with some of the anxiety that I have, similar to what you're talking about. And so situations like, I have definitely made up stories about things that are going on so that I can avoid something or whatever it is, or why I didn't get something done, or, anything like that. I'm much better about it. Like, I would say that I was at the height of doing that when I was at the height of like stress and feeling like I needed to be a certain way for everyone at that time. And it was easy to just come up with lies as to why I wasn't able to stick the landing in every aspect of my life. Now I am reaching a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't really care. So I am not lying like I used to.
That's good. That's progress.
It is progress. And, and I think it really was to try to fill in some gaps and to try to just make sure that I was doing what I needed to do, which was stemming from a certain anxiety. I mean, let's face it, some of these vices, you could argue, are stemming from some anxieties or coping mechanisms that we have that we're using to deal with what's going on in our lives, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think after this discussion, I'm going to close down my prostitution ring. I'm going to quit the gun running.
What I think you should do, I think you should meet with your local cop for lunch.
I'm going to quit smuggling opium.
No more human trafficking.
No more human trafficking.
Wah, wah.
Turning over a new leaf.
But I'm telling you, meet with your local copper for lunch and talk about it.
Sure. See if I can get Pacino to buy me a cup of coffee.
Exactly. All right. Well, now that we have ridded the world of two of us and our terrible vices,
absolutely.
What are we talking about next time?
Let's find out. I'm not sure if we've talked about this before, but I don't think we have. It's reality TV trash.
Oh.
Speaking of vices.
Yeah, reality TV. I think my whole thing about this is it trash or is it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yes. And how much of a social commentary is it?
Okay. So was there more to the sentence? Because it just goes reality TV : trash ...
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Okay. Very good.
When you go to find and share this episode, you can look in the show notes and I'll have what it was, what the full topic is for next time.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening today. We'd love to hear your vices and how you're progressing, getting over them, or if you've just given up like me. It's asking at don'taskmetotalk.com. We love hearing from you. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful week.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Cheers.
Sláinte.